And you guys probably have to say that that's okay. And I'm going to go ahead and switch participants so that I spotlight. All righty. You guys, thank you for joining today. We are going to together make these 4 cards, and these are from the Waves of the Ocean. And you can get the kit for this absolutely free. And I'll let you know a little bit more about that. So why don't I go ahead and give a little bit of an overview. And can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. All right.
Yes.
So we are going to feature the Waves of the Ocean suite, and it's available from March 1st to May 2nd. So that's important to know. And there's some examples. Here's a flyer I can share with you if you want. If you want the whole suite, that's available. And that has everything that I'm about to show you. So at the push of one button, you could get the whole suite, and you could get more from me too. I'll share that in a minute, but you could get the ingredients to make this kit. But there's options. So this is the stamp set. These are the Waves of Inspiration stamp set. And then these are the dies, the Waves dies. And then the designer series paper, we're going to take a look at that. Blue foils, and then rhinestone waves, basic jewels. Like that's the whole suite. And we're going to be using each and every one of these elements as we go through the different kit elements today. And then the other thing I want to share is that I have a product ordering special. So if you order between today, March 9th and March 20th, and here's the ordering information, and I'll make that available to you electronically as well. You get, if you minimum 35, you get this kit of all 4 cards absolutely free, every single stitch, every ingredient. Minimum 50, you get the kit free. You get this pack of gems free, and I'm continuing Celebration because I still have some, and I'm going to share those with you guys. So you get a free Celebration, even though Celebration is over. And if you spend minimum 100, you get 2 free kits. So 4 times 2 is 8 of these free gems and a free Celebration item. So, and as a reminder, this was Celebration. I'm continuing it beyond February 28th. So you could get the Island Vibes stamps. I don't have the daffodil paper. I used every scrumptious piece of it, but I do have a Stamp-a-Stack available. I have 1 left if you wanted to actually purchase a whole kit of 18 cards with that. You could get the Catching Butterflies, the Driving By. You could get the rainbow paper. You could get the marble paper. You could get these sweet little otters. $100 purchase, you get this friendly hello, so stamps and paper. And I think that's it. I don't have the other things. So, that is an overview of the product we're using today, the special that's available to you. And then you guys, this is also the team kit for team members. And I communicate about that separately with you guys. So we're going to go ahead and make these 4 cards. Look at these sweet pelicans. Oh my gosh, I love them. So we're going to go ahead and make these 4 cards in this order. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So because we only have an hour, I've kind of cut through some of the steps for you, and I'm just going to show you like maybe the tougher parts of assembling the kit. So, or the parts that might need a little more explanation. So in your kit, you're going to get a card, and this guy opens this way because I like to wrap the ribbon around this guy. Now you're going to get organdy with it. I have that on order. I ran out of organdy, so I just finished it up with some twine here. But I've got some of the things stamped out already, but let me show you some of the intricacies. And huge shout out to Doris, who's on the call. Doris gave me a great idea how to kind of step up a design I was already working with. So huge shout out to Doris. So you're going to get 2 pieces in your kit. You're going to get a piece of white that's going to fit exactly on this scallop contour die. You're also going to get this die cut. So you're going to get that piece of white. Make sure you put that to the side and use the scrap paper to stamp out your pelican. You can either fussy cut your pelican, or there's a die cut that works to die cut the pelican, but he fussy cuts pretty easily as well. You're going to want the die cuts for these waves for sure, and for the clouds and everything else. So I've gone ahead and stamped this. I stamped it in soft suede. And for this pelican, I'm just going to color the body with Stampin Blends, and it works okay, even though we usually use Memento Black with our Stampin Blends. I'm going to use it in the soft suede, and it actually just gives a nice touch. So I'm going to use the bigger end for the body. I'm just giving a light touch. And then I'm going to use the nib end for the beak. And I'm also using just a light touch right there. And so I did some research on pelicans, and they've got petal pink in them. They've got smoky slate. So we're going to have a little different pelican color later. They have the cutest little yellow tufted heads sometimes, but for this guy, we're going to keep him kind of super simple, Simon. So he's ready, with one exception. We want to put some twine on him. And where did my little twine go? Well, your envelope will have twine. Let me just grab this piece right here. So to put the twine on this guy, I'm going to put a little mini glue dot. I don't know if you guys made these adhesive stations. I featured them in December, but oh my goodness, I use it all the time. So I'm going to put a mini glue dot back here, and I'm going to put my little piece of twine to just start right there. And then I'm just going to wrap around a few times. And I don't want it like really, like I don't want to tie a knot back there. I don't want it really thick. I'm just going to tie it a few times. Now you're going to get enough twine to wrap around a few times. And then you're also going to get enough twine to put like a little edge on each edge of your tag. So make sure that you save it up for that. I'm going to put another mini glue dot. And I'm going to finish off just adhering the twine on the back, just right there. I'm going to cut it so that it's out of sight. And my pelican is ready to put onto the cart. So I'm going to put that off to the side. Actually, I'll put a couple full-size dimensionals on it. Oh, I know. I did a couple full-size, and then I did a mini. I've been using these guys a lot with this kit because there's a lot of little different sizes. So, all right, so there's that guy. But now let's get this guy ready before we assemble it. And this is the idea that Doris had, and I'm so grateful, so grateful. And we tried all the yellows. We sat online yesterday and we tried all the yellows, and we came up with that we like So Saffron the best. So I've got a blending brush, and I've got a So Saffron stamp pad, and I'm just going to clean my brush off. I'm off to the side. You can't really see me, but on my grid paper, I'm off to the side, just cleaning off my brush a little bit. And then what I want to do, I just want a little bit of sun poking in right here, right, to kind of continue the yellow and tie everything together. So I'm going to come from off the side of the edge, and I'm going to come in and kind of do that. Now, this has had a variety of yellows on it because I've been working with Daffodil Delight. So now I'm opening my So Saffron. I'm wiping it across the pad a little bit because that's the color I really want to have. I'm going to clean it off a little bit, and then I'm just going to give the lightest touch and come back in here. And I'm just doing kind of a circular shape just to give a hint of sun. And maybe I want to come a little farther down. Again, I'm starting off the edge and then coming on, because I'll show you on the back. Like if you start here, you're going to get, well, now it's pretty light, but you're like, if you start here, you're going to get like a mark. And this is a light color, so it's behaving pretty well. But if it were a darker color, you would get like a really dark demarcation that you don't want. So you always want to start off the edge. But that's it. That's as simple as adding our little sun. Now, So Saffron did work perfectly, but if you had Daffodil Delight, That's actually what this color is here. That worked fine. We did Bumblebee, that worked fine. We were just kind of having a little science experiment and picking our favorite one. So, but any yellow would work. And then look at this bird. I love this bird. Sometimes I draw these in, but I'm just gonna stamp this guy in. So, and you wanna make sure you do not, I mean, I'll show you what not to do. You don't wanna like put it all the way in to this stamp pad, because then you're going to get a ring around the rosy like that. We don't want that. So I just did the lightest touch. I've heard it said to like kind of kiss the top of it. So I'm cleaning it off a little bit, because now I definitely don't want those edges everywhere. I hope I didn't. I'm just going to kind of clean it like this too. But yeah, you just want the lightest touch. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to put a couple more little birds. And these guys, like, they're just flying everywhere. So they're perfect. So there we go. We adhere him to our color and contour, which I've already kind of dimensionaled up just so that these cards go a little bit faster. I try to stick to an hour with these free Zooms every second Wednesday at 4 p.m. California time. I try to stick to an hour. Sometimes we go over a little bit. All right, so I got that glued up. I'm going to put my little pelican on. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the card front. So he just goes right there. Just like that. Perfect. So I'm going to attach it to the card front right there. And then I've got a happy birthday, which I've already started. I took the remainder of the twine. Now where'd it go? I took the remainder of the twine and I just put it through the little loop and tied a little knot. So of course now I'm not seeing it. I'm so organized here, you girls, except for this twine that I'm not finding, but I got another piece. Okay, so just take a little bit, put it through. I love these tags. I'm using like the edges of these tags for different ribbons and stuff. They're just kind of fun. So then you just kind of, what I did was I just put it through twice. Like I put it through and then I did twice knotted. So that's knot one. And then I did another knot and then I snipped it and that was it. You could put a mini glue dot underneath if you wanted. Like right under there, but with the two knots you really don't need to. And so we dimensional everything up and then we've got our final card. You guys, which do you like it better with? Do you like it better with the twine or with the organdy?
I like the twine.
I like the twine.
All right.
I like the twine.
All right.
The
Well,
twine for a
maybe-
guy and the ribbon for a gal.
all right. Well, I have to see how much I have because I've ordered organdy for the kit. So, all right.
Oh,
so,
it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. All right. So there we go. So that's our guy. And this was also stamped in soft suede and you get that guy as well. I realize I might have been off camera a little bit. If I'm off camera, you guys let me know. I'm sorry that I get so engrossed in what I'm doing. All right. That was card one. Yay. And now let's take a look at card two. And Ayana, I heard you here. Who else do we have here? We have Lynn here. Lynn, happy Max's birthday. I read that today's your little Max's birthday. Ayana, I think, is off school this week, so she's able to be here. So that's amazing. All right, we are going to work on card two. And if you guys have questions about the measurements, I do have them here, but I have, when you get the kits, free with minimum purchase, or if you purchase as the team kit, you get all the measurements as well. So, so I've got the Pacific Point cardstock. I've got this blue, what's it called? Blue foils. So this blue foils come in like three different, like there's navy, there's like a teal and a silver. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. So that was 4 by 5 1/4, and I've already adhered that. And then now I'm going to take you guys, we've been doing this technique in a few other classes and a few other kits. So I just decided to do that here as well. So we've got this at, this navy is just 1/8 of an inch bigger. So we're going to get that on there. So this is our tearing thing. This is where we're going to tear it and we're going to get kind of two different looks. So I'm going to tear it. I want this edge. I want this edge to be white. So I'm gonna go like this. And so that I get this edge white. So you always have control over which edge is white or not. So I'm gonna do that so that I've got a white edge. And then I just wanted the tiniest little bit over here. So I'm gonna adhere this. Now a tip, by the way, for adhering the foil paper, the blue foil paper, you might, I used glue and it was fine. I used liquid glue and it was fine. If you have double stick tape, you might want to use double stick tape for the foils. It just gives less of a maybe bumpier, I mean, we're covering everything up anyway. So, but if you're really going to be letting the foil be featured prominently, you might want to use double stick adhesive instead of the liquid adhesive. So I've torn this. This was, I think, at 6 inches, but now I'm going to go over and I'm going to cut it to 4 1/4 so that it fits and it just has that little edge peeking. So I'm using my trimmer and with the magic of television, I've got it trimmed at 4 1/4. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. And then this wave, oh my goodness, you guys, there are so many ways to do this wave. Like one thing I love to do when I do my kits, I study so many other people and how they do it. Like I just love to learn. I love to study. I love to see all the ways. And I know I can't think of all the ways just coming from my own head. So you can stamp on this on designer series paper, you can stamp on vellum, you can stamp and emboss. We're going to do that a little bit later. You can color with blends. You can like color it in with daubers. You can color it in with blender pens. Like, oh my gosh, you can just, you can really get a lot done with it. So perfect. So we know we've got everything lined up. And now we're going to stamp the wave. Now I want to share a tip with you about the wave. The wave had a bit of an edge on it. So I'm going to show you like here, the wave had a bit of an edge. So you can see like, this is the way I store my stamps. I don't put the stickers on them, but I do keep this in here so that I know like what goes where and what goes with which kit. So you can see like, this is not snug as a bug in a rug. I trimmed it. So what happened was this had, like the old days, you guys, like we used to do, this had an edge around the wave here, and it just wasn't allowing me to see exactly where I wanted things. So I trimmed it. You can do it just with, don't use your good paper scissors. That's all I would say. You can use any other scissors, but just don't use your good paper and ribbon scissors. And then you can either use the Stamparatus or you can use this large block. I love both. I love this large block. I use it for a number of different things, but we're going to use this today. Now, with that said, I'm hoping that I get a great, I'm going to get my Night of Navy. Oh, I'm in heaven. I just moved my ink pads over here. I'm in heaven. I am in heaven. I'm working on getting a redesign of the room. I am in heaven. I got a like a layout from a closet company, and then I decided I haven't done it yet, but I decided to copy what they had with tables I had meanwhile. So, all right, now I've also seen people, and I'm not going to do it here, come in with the nooks and crannies with a dauber and really get in there. So you can do that. That's just a tip I want to share with you. I'm not going to do it here. You could take one of our little sponge daubers and further just go in here and just get really some nice dimension. So I didn't bring a dauber over, so I'm not going to do that. But and for this anyway, we're fine without it. But I thought I would share that with you. Now I'm going to stand up And I'm going to get in good position. And now this actually was the card I was making where I really wanted to be able to see that I was lined up. So this goes a little bit longer and a little outside of the edge. And so, and even with that, I was still missing it. So now I know I'm absolutely going to get it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give a good impression. Now I don't need to use my, I don't need to use my, I looked at my phone and I got distracted. Hold on a second. Let me get this good and stamped here. I'll come back to it. I just want to make sure, because without using my Stamparatus, I've only got one shot at this, right? If I were using my Stamparatus, I could come back in, but I just want to make sure and I've got it good and everywhere. So there we go. All right. Let's lift it and see. Ah, perfect. All right. Almost might even be a little dark, but that's okay. Gosh, he's good and inked. Oh my gosh, you guys, I love this wave. Now here's what I did. I came in with Wink-of-Stella. So I don't know if you can see that, but I came in with Wink-of-Stella and I added some Wink-of-Stella here. So we're going to come in and do that for just a teeny little bit and just get it good and inked up here. Yeah. I just love this. It's like this, I don't know. I just love, it's like a Japanese wave. It reminds me of like, there's this Japanese work of art with this wave, but there we go. All right.
Sheila,
So,
can I ask a question?
sure. Yeah, please.
What is what did you call it? Wink-of-Stella? I don't think I heard you right. I'm sorry.
I think we need time for a Wink-of-Stella moment. All right. So Wink-of-Stella is, we used to use glitter a lot, but it turns out glitter isn't so great for the environment. So, but we love bling. And so now we're using Wink-of-Stella. So if you can see, do you see how there's some sparkle there?
Yeah, it makes it glow.
Yeah. That's
see
so
that sparkle?
pretty. Yeah,
this-
is that on Stampin' Up?
It's Stampin' Up. It's Wink-of-Stella, and we're going to use it again and again today. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So there's a tip to assembling it. Let me just tell you when you assemble it. Like when you get it, you're going to have to like, there's a little black ring when you get it. You're going to have to take the little black ring off. I'm not talking about that one. There's a black ring right there. You're going to have to take the black ring off. And then what happens is I think there's like a seal on it. And once you take that black ring off, you're breaking the seal. So now there's a container and all the Stellaness is in here. I don't know what it is. Shimmer paint is in here. And then it's like a paintbrush that behaves like our aqua painters. And so you squeeze it. Now here's what I want to say about Wink-of-Stella. You want to be really careful with Wink-of-Stella, right? So if you squeeze it, that's a nice application. And so squeeze it once on a scrap piece of paper so that you get it flowing. And then once you can see that it's flowing, now you're safe to take it to your card and you can use it on your card. Be careful. I'm probably not going to be able to do it, but be careful because sometimes when you squeeze it, just every once in a while, maybe 1 or 2 times per bottle, you're going to get a big blob that comes out. And you don't want your big blob on your card. So you want to be really, really careful with that. So that's just a little tip. Always like give it a squeeze to get it flowing. And then once it's flowing, it's just the lightest touch. You don't need to squeeze it anymore. And if it starts to dry up, then take it off to the side to another piece of paper, squeeze it again to get it flowing, get all the like glob out of it. And then now you've just got the lightest touch. So yeah, this is pretty. Thank you. This is a must. This is an amazing must. So awesome. Great discovery. Yes, please, you guys, that's the benefit of doing these live. I love questions. So if you want to know the measurements, even though, you know, if you get the kit, they're in the PDF or whatever, but any questions, I'm happy. I've got all the instructions right here. Happy to do that. So, all right. So the only final thing that we're going to do is we are going to stamp the sentiment. And I have to tell you, I mean, for those of you that know my other job, I'm a strengths coach, like Clifton Strengths, like it's a thing. And so I love that this sentiment is your strength is an inspiration. Like I love just the thought of being strong and being an inspiration and celebrating others for being an inspiration. So, and then just, I don't know, the strength of the ocean just kind of couples with it. I don't know. I love the ocean too. Oh, you guys, pause break for a t-shirt break. Pause. I have to show you. I'm going to replace the spotlight. Do you guys know what my t-shirt says? Take me to the ocean. Take me to the ocean. So, all right, back to the making of the cards. And sorry about my little camera setup there. I do my best. I know my face is a little bit behind an electronics device. All right, so you guys, I'm going to eyeball this. Normally I would use my stamp apparatus or my stamping adjustment tool. I'm going to eyeball this, and my trick for eyeballing it is I put it on the block really straight, and I also am going to, like, I can see the straight line in there, and I know that it's a straight line right there. So I'm just going to come over here and do it as straight as I can with my eyeball. I know some of you guys put stickers on, and that's perfectly fine so that you know what the sentiment is, but don't let that fool you. Just because the sticker's in a certain placement doesn't mean your sentiment behind it is going to match it exactly. So anyway, I went ahead and stamped it. He's a teeny little crooked. I'm going to just let that go. And organdy ribbon. This is my last precious little bit. I saved it for this card. It's my last precious, precious little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and just wrap, except I have more on the way. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this in a bow. So you guys, this is the same for those of you that have been following. This is the same kind of tear sketch that we've been doing with our other cards, and it's just like a little different flavor of it. I love texture. I love just a little bit of depth and variety and just a little bit of interest to a card. And I thought that that just gave just a nice little bit of interest. So there's my little bow. Love this organdy ribbon. It adds just a little bit more bling. I could fuss with that forever. I'm going to snip, snip, and then I glue it on, and that's my card. And then you guys, oh no, again, I put the bling, of course. Of course, we have bling. I love, I'll show you the gems. And if you go along with the offer that I've offered, which is free with minimum purchase, if you get to a $50 purchase, not only do you get these 4 cards free, you get a pack of gems free too. If you're a demonstrator, you can order the gems at a discount. So, all right, well, I'm gonna move that over a little bit just while the glue's not dry yet. There we go. And now I'm gonna add on the gems. So here's the gems. Look at these guys, you guys. Look at these colors. These are all the colors. I don't know, you're not really getting to see the sparkle, sadly, but there's like a green, there's like a light green and a teal, and then a deeper green, a deeper blue, and then a light blue. I know you can't, probably the photo does it better. So I'll show you the photo. So those are the different shades. So they're just really pretty. And I will use my pick tool, and I'll just put a few of the gems on. In the kit, you would get a few of the gems, just enough that you need to use for the project. And boop. Couple more. Get them over here. Let me give one here. Let me give one here. This was one of the first cards I made, and I love these. I love this wave. So there we go. There's our next card, and with all the shimmer and all the bling, and then just the basic white on the inside. So there's our card number 2. All righty. Ooh, oh, any questions, you guys? Not hearing any. All righty, we'll keep going. All right, so this next card is a slimline card. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's a trendy thing that's been happening over, say, the past year is a slimline card. And so we're gonna make one, and it fits in a business size envelope.
What's the
And
dimension of the card then, Janet?
yeah, perfect. I will share that. Thanks for asking that. And then so it fits in a business size envelope, and I just stamped the wave on the outside. And honestly, I got a little mark there. I don't even care. I love mail art. I love that it just is handmade and has a little touch on it. So there's just, so it fits in a business size. And then, Doris, it's 8 by 8.5. And then you score at 4. And I'm just going to look and double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's 8 by 8.5 and you score at 4. But let me just look and confirm that, because I wrote everything down. So yes, 8 by 8.5, score at 4. And then the basic white is 4 by 8.5, because we're going to exactly put, I'm not doing a frame around this guy. I'm just completely covering the front. And so, so there is a piece of designer series paper that actually has, you guys see the Wink-of-Stella along the ocean line? I put some like right along the edge of the ocean right there. There's a piece of designer series paper that goes from like this warm to this cool color. So I'm going to show you that just so that you can see what we're working with here. Here's some of the paper. There's this guy and this guy. There's this guy and this guy. These are the papers. And let's see, where'd that other one go? Here's the one. So look at this paper. Like it has, it's 12 by 12. I know you can't really see it, and it's full entirety, but it's 12 by 12, and it goes from like the sand to the ocean, if you will.
Very pretty.
So pretty. So, so I cut this at 2 inches this way, right? I wish I could show you the whole thing. I can't, but I cut it at 2 inches. And then I further came into like the middle of the paper so that this basically would be in the middle for you. So I'm taking 8.5 out of the middle. So I will cut that precisely for you. Or if you get the kit and you want to do it on your own, you can follow along and do that as well. So I took the paper, like I said, I cut it down. This is 2 inches. So you can get 6 out of a piece of paper. And then I cut it to 8.5 so it would fit all the way across. So, and then I did put a smaller basic white on the inside to line it, and I'm just using black there. So I've got my 2 by 8.5, and I'm going to do my tear technique again. And let me tell you what not to do. I'm going to tell you why I started tearing it before we even met. I started tearing it before we even met because when I did it yesterday, I accidentally did it upside down. And then that was not the direction that I wanted things to happen. So that was a waste. So when you do it, make sure you start tearing from the right way. So, and you just only need to like take an 1/8 or a 1/4 off, right? And you don't need to worry about it. There's no wrong answer, but we're just, and you tear. So when you want a torn edge, you lift from the left and hold on the right. And then you're going to get just that little like deckled edge. So we're going to go ahead and just tear it all the way down. Kind of peaceful and meditative when you just sit and make this kit. I'm just going to tear it all the way down. I do not save this little torn scrap. Some people love to save scraps, but I have no idea what we'd even do with this. So into my little garbage it goes. And before I adhere it, I'm going to stamp my pelican. So I'm going to stamp my pelican and color. I'm going to stamp my pelican in, I just think he looks really good in soft suede. But you could use any of the browns, and if you didn't have the brown, you could absolutely use Memento Black. So I'm going to go, and I just inked this up, so he is good, rich inking. Go ahead and ink him up. And I've got it in place, like, I don't know, maybe about an inch in, and I've got it pretty close to the top of the card. So I'm just gonna come here and just place it just about right there. Normally, I would not have adhered this paper first. That's just a general policy for me, because if I do make a mistake, then I can always turn it over, and you know, paper has two sides. But the reason I did today is I'm just really trying to go through the cards a little bit quicker, not to show you every exact step. So I trusted I could do that pelican just right. And in fact, I did. Let's color him though. Oh, here now. Okay. So this guy's a little different color. Oh my gosh, they have the sweetest little yellow heads. And I'm here to tell you, those of you that know I had eye surgery, I can see better. I'm so grateful. So here's this little yellow head. Yesterday, I went to pull a marker off the shelf and I could read the tip of the marker. I was so excited. I've got like these little labels. If you want to know how to get them, let me know. Just send me an email. But, and so I'm going to give him a little petal. So that was So Saffron in the head, and then a little light petal pink beak. And then I'm going to do, honestly, I had colored the body petal pink, and then I was trying to highlight it with smoky slate, and then it ended up just becoming all smoky slate. And honestly, the one pelican that I looked up was all, he had a black body. So this guy's, now you could just color it and be done with it. I'm actually doing strokes. It's just giving an extra little bit more of texture, like the feathers of the bird. That's a coloring technique. Don't worry, like people may or may not exactly notice it, but it's just kind of fun to stroke and give it just that little bit more texture. But there we go. Now I'm going to glue my ocean on, my ocean and my sand. So I'm going to get that glued on. And it's fine that it's going to go up over the logs, right? That's the whole idea, or the, I don't know what they are, the pier, the, what would that be? Anyway, whatever they are. It's fine that it covers it up. And so there we have it. So there's that. Now, what am I going to use now, Ayana? I'm going to use my Wink-of-Stella, and I'm going to come in, and I just did like a light Wink-of-Stella just along the surface. And at first I thought, you know, I'm just going to do it where the water is. And then I thought, why not? The sun is kind of shining everywhere, and I'm just going to put it just so that we've got a little bit of bling all along the surface right there. And it's just, you know, it's not the main focal element, but when somebody is looking at it and they just turn their head and see it just right, they're going to just see like, oh, there was a little bit of sparkle there. So now I'm using Misty Moonlight. I don't know if you guys know this, but Misty Moonlight is going away. Misty Moonlight is going away. Well, I mean, it's going to go away when it sells out. That's the truth of the matter. But the last chance list comes out soon. And then there really will be a rush for people to get all the in colors, and then they will be while supplies last. So I love Misty Moonlight. It's this color. So, and I also did the sentiment in Misty Moonlight, and I'll show you that in a minute, but I also stamped the sentiment in Misty Moonlight. Now the clouds, you will get enough in the kit for the clouds. And I also put a little bit of Wink-of-Stella on those. So you can take a look right here. Clouds are like the thing. They're in every single kit this year, but and they're all different shapes, but I mean, they're all different sizes. So can you see that? Do you see just that little bit of Wink-of-Stella right there?
Mhm.
maybe. I don't, oh, there, maybe there, you see it a little bit. So you definitely can see it when it's on the card. So I dimensionaled them up. I put them on dimensionals, and then I just kind of placed them here, there, and everywhere. And let me just show you how I did one on the edge. So I did one on the edge. I used mini Stampin' dimensionals. And if you don't have both sizes, you definitely want both sizes, because look, the mini is going to fit right there. And then if I was putting the whole cloud down, then the big one would fit right there. But I'm not. I'm only going to put this just right on the edge. So I'm going to take the mini and I'm going to put it on the edge. And why am I doing a cloud off the edge of the card? I'm doing a cloud off the edge of the card because it just like it feels like there's a continuity. It's just a design principle. It just, you can see many designs stuff is contained within, but many other designs, like it just, it's nice to have patterns go beyond the edge. It just has a continuity, and it just, I don't know, it just feels more pleasing to the eye. It's a design principle. So I put this off the edge, and then I'm going to come from behind. If you have longer scissors, they're better. If not, of course, you can use your shorter scissors. But then I hug right against the edge, making sure not to cut the card, but only to cut the cloud, and you'll feel it. It's a feel thing. But then there you go. So now I've got my cloud on there, and I would go ahead and adhere the rest. I didn't dimensional those up, and so I probably won't take the time to do that here, but let me show you how I also did this sentiment right here. So these sentiments, I mean, these labels, love these labels. They work together. Here's the large one. Here's the small one. By the way, most of these, I think probably all of these would fit through the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which is on sale this month. So it's a great deal. But anyway, I rolled the two different label shapes through, one in basic black, one in basic white. I stamped in Misty Moonlight. And now I've got a length of ribbon. This is our combined, this is our petal pink, comes in a combined pack with Misty Moonlight. And then so here's what I did. I took one end and I put it through, and I'm gonna like let it get to kind of where I can take both sides all the way through over here. And now I'm going to come over here, and I'm gonna come, so with the top one, I'm gonna go through the hole. And I'll pause so you can see this. And you guys will have this video if you're gonna get this and you wanna come back and see how to do it. So basically, the top one comes through there. So there's no bunching and none of that. And then it comes around over here. And then I can just tie a bow on the other side. And I have just like a whole, it looks just like a whole little thing. I love these little holes. It just looks like a whole contiguous little piece. So I'm going to take a moment and tie that little bow. Give my fingers a moment to do that. I love, love, love this ribbon. It's just little and dainty and pretty. It comes in a combo pack with Misty Moonlight. So you guys can get a little sample of it with the kit. All right, so I made my bow, but he feels a little ginormous. So I'm gonna snug him in a little bit. And then I'm gonna trim off the edges. And then I can just adhere it with dimensionals to the bottom of the card. And once I've got my clouds on and I've got my sentiment on, then I've got a sweet card. So that's that guy. Which one's your favorite one so far?
I like that one.
You like this one? All right.
I do.
Yeah, I
I
got
like them
that.
all for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all very pretty. I don't think I
Aw.
have a favorite.
I love the ocean. I don't think I could pick a favorite either. Awesome. Well, thank you. And thank the internet, because I'll be honest with you, I study a lot when I do these. I study a lot. I come up with my own designs and I study, and then I learn, and then I kind of make things my own. And that's exactly what happened here. So this, you guys, I will show you this card. I was in a swap and I got this, and it looked like a Polaroid. And so that was the effect I wanted to go for with this card. And I don't know that I exactly achieved it. So we're going to take two again, and I love it anyway, regardless. So this has a die cut that we don't sell. It was years old, and it was supposed to emulate a Polaroid. The one we're going to make today is a little bit different from this. And the main thing I'm going to focus on is how did we get this amazing effect? Because this amazing effect you can do in this small square, you can do in a larger size because you know the size of the wave, right? So how did we get this amazing look? Let's figure it out. So here we are. We have Coastal Cabana, which is, I'm sorry, Calypso Coral, which is one of my favorite colors. We've got Calypso Coral in the back. We've got Daffodil Delight and a designer series paper there. So I've already kind of put all that together. I'm going to do it a little bit different this time to see if I can get that Polaroid effect. So I took the black out, and I went like a little bit more gray like she had done. So we're going to see which one we like better. But either way, it's going to be the same inside, and I'm going to show you that. Now here's two things to highlight. One, the sentiment that says, I miss you. This is not from the Waves of Inspiration. This is from a stamp set that we featured a long time ago. It's the Art Gallery. I love this stamp set. It has, I miss you, sorry, you are lovely, thinking of you, congratulate. I just used that. I just used that on your congratulations cards. This is a forever stamp set. And so that had I miss you. And so that's what I used there. And I did it in, I believe, Smoky Slate. So, but let's get to the making of how did we get this amazing view. How many of you guys have ever done heat embossing?
I have.
Yeah, I have.
Doris, Courtney, Lynn, Ayana, have you ever?
Yeah, I have.
All right. Jan, have you ever?
I think so.
All right. Oh, I think you did at a class here. So we're going to heat emboss again. So, and then I don't know if you guys know this paper. This paper is called Shimmer White. And darn it, I'm trying to get the light on it. You can't see it. Darn it. The paper shimmers, and it's a very subtle shimmer. It's very, very subtle, but it's got a little bit of sparkle to it. And it works pretty well for the effect that we're going to do today. So I'm using an embossing buddy. We don't sell these anymore. Embossing buddy. It's a must if you're going to do embossing. Using an embossing buddy, and we're going to use our wave. And I cleaned it, but I want to make sure I'm just going to give it a good another scrub, because for this technique, we want it really, really clean. And I'm going to use Versamark ink. And I did it two ways. I did it with clear embossing powder, and I did it with white embossing powder. I really liked it with the white embossing powder. So, so that's what we ended up with. All right, I've done my dishes. I used my little scrubber and got him all good and clean. I got the paper all ready so I don't have all my fingerprints. I'm all in readiness to pour my powder. I've got my Versamark ink. And I'm going to go ahead and get this inked up. So now what else do I use this big block for? I use this big block. Sometimes I'll have it just sitting off to the side with no stamps on it. And if I'm using a lot of little stamps, like, you know what stamp set has a lot of little stamps, the Abstract Beauty. That's the other kit I have right now that has so many little stamps. And so if I don't have a lot of blocks over here at the time and I'm rotating blocks, then I'll take my little stamps and I'll just station them on here. So that's one thing that I do. The other thing that I use this big guy for, well, of course, large stamps. The other thing that I use this big guy for is if I'm like wanting to do painting, like aqua painter painting, watercolor brush painting, I might put like, I'll use it like an artist palette where I'll do like a little bit of yellow here. I could either use re-inker or I could like ink right on it with the stamp pad, and I might put red over here. So it can serve like an artist palette if I'm using a lot of different colors in watercoloring. So these guys are just great anyway, if you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm getting it for just one big stamp. But the other choice that you can do is you can absolutely use the Stamparatus with this. So now I'm placing my wave, and the way that I went, I kind of wanted the sun in the middle. So I don't know exactly how that's going to roll, but I know that I don't have any extra overage on either side because I cut my stamp nicely. So I'm just going to go right here and I'm going to give it a good press. And then as soon as I lift this, and I do mean as soon as I lift this, I want to get my embossing powder on it right away. And I'm going to show you a boo-boo in my card that I made where I didn't emboss properly. All right, perfect. All righty. So now sometimes I use coffee filters. Today I'm just using a little yellow notepad. I've got my clear embossing powder. I'm going to go ahead and get that inked up. I'm going to give it the flick so I get all the extra powder off. Take a look at it and it looks good. I'm going to put this away immediately. Seal it immediately. And I'm going to heat. So sorry that I can't fast track through this. I'm letting the heat gun heat up. It has 2 speeds. I have it on the high speed. This is the boo-boo that I made. I didn't heat it completely, and then I touched it with my finger. I'm fine with that. I know, I'm fine with it. It's an ocean wave, but we're going to try not to do that again this time. So I let this heat up, and now I'm going to come over and I'm just going to hold it in the corner. I wish I could speed this up for you guys. You know what? Here's what I'll do though. I will tell you, this was my first love. I went to Stamp Diego in San Diego on a business trip with Lotus Notes. I went to this store and it was a stamp store, Stamp Diego. They heat embossed roses and they heat embossed a castle.
We're having a hard time hearing you.
Oh, all right. Almost done. Thank you. Almost done. All right. Okay. Now can you see it all? I take it up to the light and I can see that it's all, now if I really wanted to, if I was really brave, and I do this, if I'm really, oh, look, I can see a little corner. Give me 1 second. I do take it to the light to see that I can see like reflection everywhere, and then I know it's done. If it's a piece that I really care about, like I'm okay with this, that it's got a little boo-boo on it, but if it's like, I will run my fingers over it and make sure that it's good everywhere. It's kind of a good learning tool to do that sometimes too, just to like make sure that, you know, you're learning correctly. So, oh, the story I was telling you the story of, this was how I fell in love with stamping. I went to Stamp Diego in San Diego. They don't exist anymore. I went to Stamp Diego on a business trip back when we had Lotus Notes. And I went to this stamp store and they heat embossed some roses. And I was smitten ever since. That was like 1990. I was smitten ever since. Right. So I just thought it was so magic. I guess that becomes like a plastic. So I've got 3 colors happening. I've got Pacific Point, Daffodil Delight, and I've got Calypso Coral. I've got 3 brushes. We do have a trio of brushes. We sell blending brushes in a trio, and so it's nice to maybe reserve one for yellow, blue, red. Some people reserve, like, they will only use one for Daffodil Delight, and then they use a different one for so saffron. I am fine mixing and matching. I'm going to clean my yellow off a little bit because it still has some so saffron on it. I'm going to get some inked up here. I'm going to clean it a little bit. And then I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to do it ever so softly. I'm going to do a circle where the sun's going to be. I'm just going to do a circle just right there. That's how I got the sun right there. I just did a circle like that. I'm going to come back in and do it again. You could also use a dauber, but I'm not going to do that now. So I got my sun situated, and so that feels good. Now I'm going to kind of do the rest of the card. So I'm going to use Pacific Point, and I'm going to do that on the ocean bottom. And again, I start off on the edge and then I come onto it. And then I'm going to kind of do the sky as well. I start off on the edge and I come onto it, and I'm going to build color because I want a lot of nice color. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep building more Pacific Point, both of my places. This, by the way, is an emboss resist technique. So look at one and look at the other. Why is one white and one isn't white? Wait till you see. It's called an emboss resist technique. I will show you. So now I'm coming in and I'm going to do my, I keep wanting to say Coastal Cabana, Calypso Coral. I'm going to do my Calypso Coral kind of around the sun. And I'm letting it touch over the blue, and I'm letting it touch over the yellow. And I'm just building my color, building my color. Building my color. I'm going to sweep back in with just a little more darkness there and a little more darkness here and a little more depth of color here. And then I want to show you something cool. All right. Okay. So now we see that guy. He doesn't look like this guy. So how am I going to get there? How am I going to get that wave just a little bit wider? And this is an emboss resist technique. What we did was we embossed, and the embossing powder is actually resisting all of that color that we put on there. It's resisting it. It's just kind of sitting there. All we need to do is kind of wipe with a paper towel, and we get our white back. It's like a plastic. It's like a plastic. So
That's so neat.
Isn't that cool?
That's so cool.
Isn't that cool? It's one of my favorite things. All right, so we're going to add just a couple more things on it, and we are going to finish this card, girls, because I want to compare it to the other. So let's see. I think I'm going to do Smoky Slate birds. Is that true? Yeah. Oh, I'm going to do Smoky Slate birds, and I'm going to show you like a drippy water thing. So let's do that. So let's get the birds on here. We'll go boop, boop, boop. And then here's the drippy water. So these guys, and this one's an old one. We have new ones. They're a white color and they behave pretty much the same. So you'll notice it's just like the Wink-of-Stella bottle. It holds the liquid here. It's got a brush here. You squeeze it for the goods to come out. This one holds water. And so I hope that it's going to work right. I'm going to squeeze it to get the water flowing. And then I'm going to go like this and flick on it. And we're going to let it dry for a little bit. But you see how we got those like watercolor drops on this guy?
Mhm.
That's how I did that, was I did those flicks. And so you can see that it's got like this, it's already starting to dry. So it's got the watercolor drops. Yay.
It's really cool.
See the shimmer from the shimmer white come through or no?
Well, let me look on the dry one because that one's still wet. You know what? You do a little, Doris. You do a little.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you
That's
do a
great.
little. Yeah, that was a nice question. Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to let it dry before I glue it. But this is going to be the final version of it. And you guys do have a choice for this because this was my final card that I designed. Should I go with the black for the kit or should I go with the gray for the kit?
I like the gray. It makes it softer, I think.
And I like the yellow without the black
Mhm.
layer.
So you could not use the black. Okay. All right. I'm going to go with this one. And
Very pretty.
yeah, I'm going to go with this one. So there we have it, girls. So here were our 4 cards that we made today. And team members, you know that you can get this kit. I'll get that information to you. Customers, you can also get this kit for free. And that, as a reminder, is my special. Minimum $35 order. So you could order like the products that go with it and you get these 4 kits, these 4 cards for free. Minimum 50, you get a pack of gems for free and a free celebration because I have celebration left. Minimum 100, you get 8 of the cards, free gems and free celebration. This goes through March 20th. You can order here. I'll put that information out there. And the other thing I would say is I do have a PDF. If you want just the PDF, that'll be available too. Make sure you're on my email list at lilamonkey.com. Subscribe. And so let me come back to you guys. That ends the instruction portion. So let me turn that off and just see any questions, any comments, any thoughts, anything. Let me just stop.
Lovely.
Awesome. Thanks for coming today. Anything?
This is a team kit for this month?
This is the team kit for this month, so I'll get that
yay.
information out to you. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. Awesome.
You have
All
that
right.
stamp set, Ayana?
I do. I got the stamp set, the die set. I got the whole shebang. I managed to get lucky in the pre-order.
Good job.
All right. Well, hopefully this gives you lots of ideas how to use it. So that's my hope. That's my true hope. So you guys, take us all to the ocean and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye, you guys. Good
Bye,
night.
guys.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.